Hey, what's up guys? This is Somnath. It's a beginner friendly tutorial and it's all about building up a QR code generation app using nodejs. So I'll be using Express.js for handling all the HTTP calls like post and get those kind of operations. For the UI part, it's basically a server-side rendering, we call it, and I'll be using EJS, which is embedded JavaScript. Definitely, you can use other technologies, maybe like Jetpack or Handlebars, but EJS sounds a little easier for the beginners to learn. So that's the reason I thought to use EJS instead. So I hope you'll enjoy this discussion, and I believe no introduction needed what a QR code is in current digital world. So let's head over to the development, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, to subscribe my channel if you like to see this kind of videos in future. So I have just taken an empty folder, and to start with, I'll just initialize npm, and this way it will create a package.json file for me. And I see it's an index.js is the entry path, so let's create a file called index.js. Okay, good. Now to start with, I need a few dependent libraries, for example Express. So let's npm install Express. So these are all node modules basically, and I'll also need EJS for my server-side rendering. And I need something, obviously the main thing was the QR code, which will help to generate the QR code for the input text. So with that, let's install, and it will take some time. I'm pausing the video. So all installed successfully, looks like. So let's clear this first, and now to start with, we'll go for constant express, and I'll just need express. Let's create an app, and now I need something called a port for listening, and that I'm calling it as so if it is not available, then just go for 3000 as a default port. Okay, so let's put the listener and use this port. I'll just do a console log. Remove that. Okay, so all set. Now thing is, like, I need a few more middleware for that. So app.use, I need JSON, and also I need one more middleware, and that is express.url encoded, and I have to pass an object, and that is called extended false. So this one, I need to grab the information from the request body. Okay, this is required. Fine. So now let's put the app.get operation. So the root path or main landing page, if you call it your app, so that is this particular root, and I'll just put request response, and you can put next also. It's an optional, but you can put it. So what will happen, generally we can put response.send and call it like hello. Okay, so with that, let's test this app. I'll be using node1. So it's already installed in my system, so that's why it is working. But in your case, if it is not installed, then probably you can just install it like that. npm init, npm install node1. It will create a dependent installation for this package. If you want to set it up local globally, then you have to just put -g. Okay, fine. So now the app is running in 3000. I just open a browser 3000, and if I just run this, I can see hello. So now the thing is, like, I'll be using EJS for our client side, or rather server side rendering, I should say. So let's use it render instead of index. So I'm just rendering an index EJS file which we have to create, and it's not available yet. So let's create a folder called view. Okay, and inside that I'm creating a file called index.ejs. So the moment I'll get into the localhost 3000, I'll just render this particular file index.ejs. So I can put something like h1 hello, and if I just save it, but thing is, like, I need to set up EJS view engine for that. So for that I need EJS, of course. So let's constant EJS. We have to load it. Okay, so this is one thing. Second would be, I need a path also. Okay, so this is all good, and now we have to tell our application, like, hey, this is what you need to use as a view engine, and I'll call it as EJS. Okay, so view engine is set, but we have to also tell to our app, like, this index, you have to find it under this view folder. But how to do that? It is very simple. I'll just call it like views should be path join, and I'll just use directory name, and I'll call it the view name as view, right? So that way my application knows that I have to find my views under this view folder. So I don't need to create view slash something like that. Simply index is sufficient. Okay, so now if I just render it, what will happen? Cool, it is now showing hello world from this index.ejs. So let's create later the application UI, and let's call it QR code app. QR code generator, and I would use the bootstrap. And here you can see this one, and put it in the header section. Okay, so now in the body I need to create a class with name called container, and inside that container I want to create something like QR code generator. Okay, so by doing that, what will happen? It will come like that. Oh, I just missed this one, the spelling. Now it will have a margin and all set. So next I need let's put one horizontal row, and let's create a form. Okay, so in the action I'm calling, it will go to scan page as a different path that I'm going to set, and I'm telling this method should be post method, and your class should be form. And next I'm telling inside this I need one text area. My name is text, ID is text. So column 300 and row 10. So let's column put more little of 150. And if I save it now and refresh, cool, this is what I can see. So let's put a placeholder now, and I'm calling it enter URL or text. Okay, so this way I have this thing created. So next I need a button, and I just want to call it as a generate QR code. Okay, and button type I call it as a submit, and I would like to put one class for that. Cool. So let's refresh it. So if I click on that, obviously it not able to find that particular path. So let's go back to our code, and here I want to put one more route dot post, and I'm now calling it this path a scan, and request once next. And now what I want to do, I want to grab this QR code now, which is the main model for us, right? QR code, I'm calling it as QR code. Okay, that's cool. What next? Obviously we have to just grab the text that whatever user will, put inside that. So this text I have to grab. So for that I can just use constant input text equal to this request dot body dot text, right? Because this was the name of the text area, text, so that's why I'm just putting it as text. Cool. So now if I just use that console log for the time being, and if we just put input text, and let's refresh it and put a value generate code, obviously it is not getting any response back, but in my console log I am able to grab that value. Cool. So next is I just need to pass this text to our QR code. So I'll just pass input text, and I'll just use a callback error, and that image source or QR code image source, I'm calling it as source, and stop. And here what I want, response dot render, right? So I want to render a different page or view. I'm calling it a scan. Okay, but now we have to pass a data to this scan page, and we'll do it later. Before that, get a file called scan.ejs. okay, now here, so I can just put QR code. So let's put QR code as a title, and again I would like to have the same CDN link of our Bootstrap mini. Let's create again a class, or maybe something called container, and here I want to use one thing, that is an image. Now this image have a image source. There what we have to do differently now, we have to put a different syntax, and like that is equal to, let's call it keyword source, or keyword code, something like that. Okay, and we have to close this one by writing up this one. Okay, so this way we can put even JavaScript within this HTML. So that's why it's calling embedded JavaScript, and I'm calling it keyword code. Okay, something around it, and I need some hyperlink, because the moment I would like to click on this back button, it will take me to the initial page. So let's put role as a button, and let's put a class for that. The class is button primary. Okay, so now this QR code we need to pass all the way from our index.js, this one. So we need to use an object for that, and we can put QR code colon and what we're getting as a source. So we can put source. That's all. I think we can put a break, line break. That's all. So if I put hello generate code, yeah, and now click on this back, and it will come back to this. So now we can use any sort of text and URL. So you can just put this enter page, or you can copy enter thing like that. And if you just paste it over here and generate, it will create your QR code like that. It's that easy. Now to add our own style sheet, right, on top of Bootstrap, the concept here is like you have to create a new folder, and the name of the folder should be public, and under that you have to create your own style sheet class CSS. There I am just adding body and background color, let's say this one. And if I want to use it over here, we can just, before that, one small thing we have to do, and that is go to this index.js, and we have to add something like app.use press .static. Okay, and there we have to mention the folder name as public. That's all. So all the static file declaration should be added over here. And now let's go to the index.js, and here we have to just put link and the style sheet, and href should be just style.css, and you can also put something like type as text CSS. Okay, that's all. So if I just refresh it, voila, you see the custom style sheet been applied. So let's little bit do a testing with a mobile device, let's say. So just go and copy this one, whatever text you want, just copy this entire thing, put it over here, and just generate QR code. It's generated, and you see now this enter things is now showing in my mobile device. Cool. Thanks for watching, and I believe the discussion was helpful to you. We'll shortly connect to a new topic. Until then, goodbye. Take care.